Hi, my beautiful pandas. I am recording on my phone because last video I made on the computer with my headphones, I was not exactly knowing how to deal with the whole microphone thing. So, this video is gonna be story time. I am not in my usual area, I am in the living room. The baby is sleeping. So, my pregnancy. Excuse me. I didn't know I was pregnant until I was around 2 months and a half. But apparently, everybody knew I was pregnant. Um, I actually started feeling it because I was in a activity at my old job, and I love steak. Super love steak. They were giving out some steak and some like mac salad or something like that. So I got it, like I got extra, of course, because I'm a fatty. And I couldn't eat it. Like as soon as I put it in, I put every, like literally, like piece by piece in my mouth. It was the most horrible taste. And I just wanted to throw up. But there was this cake, tres leche. I love it. So I was like, okay, well, let's try the cake. Guess what? I wanted the cake. I wanted candy. I wanted everything. And literally, my whole pregnancy was me eating tres leche. And for me, my first month, which was actually my second month and a half, all I would eat was white rice with Chef Boyardee. Thank you. Um, and what else? Well, during my pregnancy, I was actually high risk. I was not supposed to get pregnant without any treatment. All my doctors in Puerto Rico, and also my doctor that I have when I got here, he was like, you're gonna have trouble having babies. You're gonna need to go into a treatment, etc. We tried for a while. I was like, you know what, let's try it because what, just because I have hormonal problems or whatever, like, something can happen, miracles happen, right? So miracles did happen. During the time that we were trying, I did, like, it didn't happen. Like, I would literally wait. I had this calendar. I would like look at when I was fertile. Uh, I think it's called fertile or whatever. So every time we were like, okay, let's go, right? And I waited like 2 to 3 weeks and nothing. And when I was like, you know what, let's stop. I'm gonna go to the doctor. I'm gonna get the treatment. Um, and I told him, I was like, also, let's get yourself insurance so you can go to a doctor. Maybe it's not like, maybe it's both of us, so we can do this. A couple of weeks later, my dad called. It was December. He was like, "Are you pregnant?" Just like, what? It's like, "Are you pregnant?" Because I feel sick. I feel this. I feel that. I'm like, no, all of my pregnancy tests are negative. So, no, I am not pregnant. Um, Funny thing, all of my pregnancy tests were negative. Even my blood draw was negative. They did some other things, and that's when I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try this three-step pregnancy test. That's when the whole party at the work happened, and I was pregnant. I was like, oh my god, like I'm pregnant. I'm like, how long have I been pregnant? So obviously, I went to the doctor. I was like, look, I'm pregnant. He was like, no way, you're pregnant. I was like, yes. So okay, After that happened, I got sick. I was, thankfully, I was not left at the hospital, but I was working. The job I was in was just a very toxic environment. So if my managers or if my old boss are seeing this, you guys have a toxic environment, and that's why all of your housekeepers kept leaving, okay? I actually wanted to leave, but honestly, I didn't have a car. I didn't have anything. So I was like, you know what? I'll just stay here as long as I get the drive because I was having what you call I was getting a ride to my old job. Um, my glasses are bothering me. Um, so I just stayed there for a while. The day that I had to go to the hospital, I was feeling horrible. I had, I believe, 18 checkouts. They gave you a board. And I told I guess my what you call that, my supervisor or the person that checks the room, whatever. I was like, look, I'm not feeling good. My husband's gonna get out of work, and I think I have to go to the hospital. Um, Me working with chemicals, I messed up a little bit my whole asthma cycle. I was actually fine when I got here, and since I was working with chemicals all day, I messed it up, even though if I was taking my medicines. What happened? I told my supervisor, whatever, and the person tells the manager. He's the biggest, I don't know, they would work, they would overwork your hard working housekeepers because I would take out rooms every day, no matter how bad I felt. And I would go and help other housekeepers that were behind. And it's just a toxic environment. Anyway, back to me. Um, my husband was like, you know what, you're not going back there. That's a very toxic environment. You are getting too much anxiety attacks and you are very stressed with that job. And if we tried so hard to get pregnant, you are not losing this baby because of some toxic environment job. Okay. So obviously, I didn't want to leave the job because it's money that was not going to be coming in, even if I wasn't making enough. And I did have another job offering. As soon as I got here, I went to this job agency. They were like, why do you want to work somewhere else when we can offer you a job? Honestly, it was like an hour and a half away from where I live. So I was like, I don't have a car. I don't have how to get here. And I thanked them for the offer. They were super nice and everything, but honestly, I did not have my transportation daily for 1 hour and a half away from my apartment. So I had to let it go, sadly. Um, anyway, I stopped working. I was at the moment, I think, 4 months of pregnancy. So I've been at home since 4 months. Uh, Honestly, also, my doctor was like, you can't keep working because you can't lift more than 20 pounds. And I had to push the beds, the drawer thing, and all of that. So I was like, okay, fine. I actually wanted to find another job because honestly, I've been working since I was 14 and I've always had, even if it's not a lot, but I always had some type of income for myself. So it was pretty hard for me. Um, After that, we moved here to the apartments I'm in. It was a total headache. It was super late. The people here are so irresponsible. I was working for about 5 to 6 months with I had a leak and I had mold on my carpet. It was messing up my whole allergies and asthma. It was very stressful to me, and honestly, 100% thank you to them. I went to the hospital because I had a panic attack because I was like, my baby's almost here, and I am still dealing with this leak and this mold in my carpet. And all they told me was, we can't do anything about it. We'll try to fix it when you come back. I actually went the day that I went to the hospital to the office. I was like, look, I think I'm giving birth. I am not feeling good. I need you to please fix this for when I come back with my baby. I want my apartment to be ready for him. Let me tell you something. I don't know if it was miscommunication from somewhere. They were not checking my apartment the right way. They did not know where my leak was coming from. They didn't know anything. I had mold. They were like, oh, yeah, we'll just paint it. Mm? My kid was already here and they were still working with it. I told them, I was like, the only way that they did something, it was because I told them that I was going to call the health department and a lot of other stuff. And I even spoke to a lawyer because my kid was already 2 months old with something like rash or something covering his skin. And honestly, my doctor was like, you know what, the only problem is I can't give you the paper that it's because of that because he's a baby. We are 100% sure that there is something in the environment where you're living, but we can't give you like a certainty and the paper because we don't know. They can't test a couple of months old baby for something, like it was just a headache for me. And my doctor was like, you know what, let's just put him in some, let's change his soap, let's put some creams on it, let's do some other stuff, like, for babies, because obviously they can't do nothing about it and they can't give me medicine for a month, a 2 month and a half old baby that was premature. He was not born at the time that he was supposed to be born. The day that I went to the office, I went to the hospital. I was told that I had to be induced labor, 37 weeks. I was given 2 to 3 times something for his lungs so they can complete his lungs. And I was 48 hours in labor. I had a leak, and it turns out that from morning to night, I had preeclampsia. Uh, the same week I had gone to my doctor, I was fine. Everything was good. Everything was fine. The sugar thing, the glycose or something like that everything was perfect. So all of this was stress induced preeclampsia, which made me have my baby at 37 months because they tried so hard to like 37 months at that same day because they tried to like prolong the days. I went at 36 weeks to the hospital, and it was the longest week. So, anyways, after that full week, that was the longest week of my life from 36 to 37 months of my pregnancy. It was 48 hours of labor. I did not want to be I didn't want them to put the epidural. I wanted it fully natural. I wanted to feel everything. I was fine. Everything was perfect. But the doctor that was with me was like, you could have a seizure because you are having contractions every 2 minutes. You are not dilating. That means I was not opening for my baby to come out. Uh, and I was having contractions every 2 minutes, something could happen to the baby and I could go into seizure because my blood pressure was literally like 160, 150, and it was just horrible. Um, Obviously, me crying. I didn't want the epidural, but they ended up putting it. It took a couple of hours for me to finally dilate correctly. And when I was already at 6 of dilation, they I was ready for labor. Supposedly, I don't remember a lot because since all of this medication that they had me on, uh, but supposedly I pushed like I guess 5 to 6 times and the baby was out. My mom was going crazy because my blood pressure kept going up and she didn't know if my husband and I had already talked about if something happens, who are we saving? We were saving me because we already knew that me having a baby was gonna be hard, and if anything, I could adopt, which was actually our plan. If my labor couldn't go through, we were gonna adopt. My mom was going crazy. We picked her up the Saturday of the day that I was gonna give birth. So she was just all over the place. She was excited for seeing me, excited for touching my belly. She was like, it was so emotional for her. And I'm so proud and I'm so happy that my mom was there with me. Oh, sorry. So I had a little episode. um, so my after that week I was in a hospital, they were monitoring my blood pressure. I had a panic attack. They left me for an extra day. It was horrible. Um, I was a month and a half dealing with the whole blood pressure thing. I had some medications. I did not go through depression, thank God, but my anxiety got worse. I got generalized anxiety disorder. I was already, my anxiety was already that I worry too much, and I have a way of doing the things with my husband. When he got to work, he calls me. If he took extra time that I knew that that was the time he was supposed to get to work, I call him, are you okay? Did something happen on the way? Like it was super hard for him and for me as well because it comes to the point that you don't know how to deal with yourself and it's super hard. So my after everything, my anxiety went up to generalized anxiety disorder. I am taking antidepressant, which helps me with my panic attacks, and I am taking some anxiety pills. Um, sorry. So I have gallbladder stones. So now I am in a full diet. I have been in that diet for 7 months and a half already. My son is 8. I had a gallbladder attack. And from that on, I've been on a full on diet, no fat, no candy, no. So it's super hard for me because my all day go to was my favorite cereal. It was morning, breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack. I would eat cocoa dino, from Fruity Pebbles, but the chocolate one. And that was my go-to. That's my favorite cereal. And I am a super pizza lover. Pizza was my thing. There was this thing I would eat in Puerto Rico. It's called a tromboli. Uh, I don't know what you guys call it here, but I guess it's like the pizza mass. I guess it's called, and it's like this long thing. They put cheese and pepper. I like the pepperoni one, so cheese and pepperoni, and then in top of it, they would put more cheese. Uh, that little, the cheese, and you would take the sauce, the pizza sauce, and when you got the tromboli, you would dip it. in. You would dip that in and just stuff your face. That was my go-to. Mofongo. Oh, mofongo with mayo ketchup. But honestly, you could eat the mofongo and it doesn't have to be fried. I can't eat nothing that's fried, nothing that's dipped in oil. So anyway, guys, that was the full story of my pregnancy and birth. If you like the video, please subscribe and follow and let me know what you guys want to see in the future about me. So have a beautiful day, my beautiful pandas. Mwah.